What's up everyone, Soldier First Class here, and today's mission, we've got yet another huge interview with Remake director Tetsuya Nomura. This time he talked about exploration, compilation characters, and much more. Nomura gave an interview to 4Gamer about the game Going Gold, which published yesterday, and I want to add to this video something that he said that I accidentally left out of yesterday's video. Nomura also talked about the volume of the game, gave greater details on the scope, and how he felt about how people thought this was just going to be a short experience. He talked about this in a developer interview back a few months ago, but decided to reiterate his point here. Google Translate is going to be terrible in these situations, so I'll just paraphrase what he said. Basically, they're diving way deeper into Avalanche and the side stories and characters of Midgar. He wanted to make Midgar feel like a real place with a lot of depth, and a Midgar that people were satisfied with after leaving it. He also wanted Midgar to leave a lasting impression on the player, more so than it did in the original, so he made Avalanche's stories part of the main plot and not just lost in side quests. This added depth is actually much appreciated by fans like me who really wanted these characters to get expansions. Then he gave a separate interview with Famitsu, which was thankfully translated by Twinfinite, and he gave even more great information. So let's begin with exploration. It's the final thing in the article, but I think maybe one of the most important parts to talk about. Nomura stated, side quests have been created with focus on quality in the same way as the main story. Since the city of Midgar is quite big, there are areas where you can travel by vehicle. This is huge because it confirms that at least vehicle transportation will help us get around Midgar and that exploration will actually exist within the game. A lot of people think this is going to be a linear, on-rails game, and I think that's a little short-sighted at this point. Now granted, we have seen travel when it comes to the motorbikes, but I think there's going to be a little bit more than that in this game. How many times does Nomura have to say there's so much content and confirm time and time again about how big this game is for this negativity about it to die down? As a side note, a recent rumor has been floating around about the length of the game, and allegedly, Kitase claims the first part will take 50 to 60 hours for main story content alone. So safe to say, if this is true, maybe this will finally be what people need to stop thinking this is a Telltale or Life is Strange episodic game. As another side note, GameSpot published their article about their 3-hour playthrough of the Final Fantasy VII Remake from the press event. They mentioned that they were skipped forward to other chapters of the game, and with that being said, they told us some really telling stuff about the length of the game. They revealed that the entire Sector 5 reactor mission is in Chapter 7, and that the Absu boss fight in the sewers is in Chapter 10. To put that into perspective, the first bombing mission is Chapter 1. In the original game, there was only about 20 minutes of time between the first reactor and Reactor 5. So if there's 6 chapters apart now, how big is this game really? It has to be huge and seems to fall in line with the 50 to 60 hour rumor. Next up is Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa. According to Nomura, your choices will directly impact the dress that Cloud wears visually this time. The article states, first of all, we learned that there are multiple items that you can use to cross-dress as Cloud in the iconic scene returning from the original. That way he can display a different look depending on your choices. Tifa and Aerith also have different outfits on top of those that have been shown publicly so far. If you remember, no matter what choices you made in the original, Cloud's ensemble never changed appearance, so it's nice to know that this time you'll actually see a reward for your troubles. And it's also interesting that Tifa and Aerith have alternate dresses, which could lead to alternate outfits for all characters. Now let's talk about Barret. The article states, we learned that the new Barret was designed first among the characters. He had a very deformed physique in the original game, so his new realistic design served as a guideline for the visual feel of the remake. That's actually something I would have never guessed. I figured Cloud would be the first one designed, but it turns out it was Barret. He also mentioned a quick note about Red 13 and his change from headdresses to collars. Nomura stated it was because they wanted the weapons to be more visible on the characters, and collars felt like the right move. I actually think this makes more sense too. While his roots are based in Native American traditions, the collars feel more like a natural equipment for him. The Turks were also mentioned, and Nomura confirmed why all of their suits are different colors. Nomura stated, the Turks have been designed by Roberto Ferrari. While they all wear suits, which normally would hinder the expression of their personality, they have been given differences and details to make it stand out. I actually really like this, as we all know the Turks are very much about their personalities. That's honestly what makes them so memorable from the original, so giving them their own signature style is a really good move in my opinion. He also briefly mentioned Roche, and that he was also designed by Ferrari, and that many new additional characters would appear in side quests. Then he got on the subject of compilation characters. He stated that characters from the compilation don't make an appearance in the game, but there are elements that are touched on. We know this from the demo, where Jesse talks about Avalanche Command not talking to them. We also know this from the president referencing Wutai a few times. However, there are characters from an extended work, not part of the compilation, that will be appearing. If you're unfamiliar with Kazushige Nojima and his extended works, he wrote a novel titled Final Fantasy VII Gaiden, Turks, The Kids Are Alright. According to Nomura, a few characters from that title will be making appearances in the remake as well. Overall, Nomura has confirmed a few bits of information and told us that the game is significantly longer than people are giving it credit for. I've said for a long time that this is not a Telltale game or Life is Strange, and hopefully hearing it from Nomura will give people some peaceful thoughts. I also love that he's being so forthcoming and just trying to give the fans an idea of the scope of this project. So what do you think, soldiers? Are you still worried about the length of this game, and if so, why? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to omni-slash that like button. Let me know in the comments section below how long you think Final Fantasy VII Remake's Part 1 will be, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell to join the ranks of Soldier today. And for all the latest Final Fantasy VII Remake news, rumors, and trailers, I'm Soldier First Class, and I'm on to the next mission. Later, guys.